Doesn't it look pretty? I was recording it. I didn't want to go outside again though because I heard yelling coming from that direction over there, over the fence. Ooh. 89 degrees. Oh, 10:28. Happy Tuesday. Let's go. I'm doing everything backwards. Oh, you all have had a day. I've had a day. I spent all day cleaning just so that my cat can throw up. Right as I'm about to leave, I'm gathering the trash bag and everything, and I see that she threw up on the floor, and she also threw up on my new mat that I just bought this past Sunday. Oh, here comes my son.
You want to get Jacob?
Yeah, what happened?
I just got home.
Oh, you just got out of work?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to get out at 11, but they let me go home early because it was slow.
So you're going to have to start staying till 11 also?
Huh? Sometimes. It just depends, my schedule.
How come you have a ball?
Oh, I found it.
Oh, all right. Well, be careful. Love you too. Bye. You all got to hear my older son. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, the cat. So for some reason, she likes to throw up on new mats and rugs. And it really pisses me off. Oh, and somebody finally moved into the neighbor's old apartment. Only I'm not in speaking terms with her again. And I'll tell you all why in a bit, if there's time. But yeah, I was so upset with her, and I'm just like, why did you do that, Tabby? Why? This was brand new. And why did you wait till I was done cleaning to throw up everywhere? Like, why? Mommy is tired. My back hurts. And she just looks at me like confused. Like, I didn't do anything wrong, Mom. I don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, I'm on my way for my younger son. This child over here just got home from work. I didn't even know he was staying till 11. I thought he was getting out at 10. This is the first I hear that he gets out at 11. It's nice. I don't like my children working so late. Not this late. They don't mind it, but I do because I'm a mom. And I mind, you know? Okay, so let me just get into it because I did a video earlier and I was talking about stuff that I've been getting on Instagram. But I'll save that for tomorrow because I just don't have the energy for it today. I'm at a loss for words for what I've been watching on Instagram lately, the reels that I've been getting, and it's one after another, and I'm so upset, and I'm more upset that I don't even know what to do about it, you know? But let's get into this instead. So, water first, water. Okay. Okay. Breathe in, breathe out. What do they say? Woosah. Yeah, woosah. Okay, so, and I don't even do yoga. I've been wanting to though. Is it relaxing? Does anybody out there do yoga? Is it relaxing? Because I need to relax. It's too late for me to have a glass of wine right now. But, oh, by the way, tomorrow I start my how do you say it? EMDR? Is that how you say it? Whatever. You know, that thing? We'll see how it goes. Because I have that tomorrow, and then on Thursday I have counseling. And I just told my counselor, well, I'll see how it goes, you know. Let her explain. It's a different counselor that's going to do that, that's certified in that technique, right? So I'm like, I'll let her explain to me. I'll give it like a chance, and then we'll see where that goes. But while I was in the shower, I was thinking, You know, I don't want to be going every week for that and counseling. I just get really tired of going to doctor appointments. I get frustrated and tired, and I already feel myself getting frustrated about it. So I'm kind of wanting to do the EMDR like every other week, and then keep my counseling every week. You know, I think that's a plan. Because yeah, there was a time when I was going to the gyno like every week, if y'all can recall, when I first started HRT. And I got really frustrated with that. I was just like, I don't want to go anymore. Like, that's it. I'm tired of this crap, you know? And so then I switched to Dr. H, right? Another gyno. And he was like, I'll see you every 3 months. And I was like, every 3 months? What do you mean? Like, how come not every week, you know? And I was like, all right. And then, but from there, he decided, okay, you know what? I want to see you every month. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. But now the every month is even getting on my nerves, you know? And I have an appointment with him coming up, I think in 2 weeks. Or is it in a week? I don't know. I really don't know, you all. I would have to go check. But I'm not going. I'm going to tell you all right now, I'm not going. I'm like, no, I'm so tired of seeing these people all the time. And the month goes by really quick, and before I know it, I have to go again. No, like, I don't want to. And anyway, I don't want to get into the whole doctor rant, but if you notice, like, when they see that you're very anxious about your health and stuff like that, it's like they play on that emotion, I think, and they want to see you more often. And I don't even know what in the world he wants to see me for. If last time that I went, I was sitting at his table half naked and he dismissed me. He was like, I'll spare you the exam. You can leave. And I'm like, what? You're not even going to look? Like, can you look at least? You know, I mean, I'm here, I'm undressed, you know. But I'm just like, you know what? No, I'm not going to be doing this. I'm not going to be coming in, getting undressed, getting dismissed, and then have to come back next month when you feel like looking, you know? No, like, there's this place, before I get into the other conversation that I really wanted to get into, there's this place across the street that I saw they had signs all over, and one of them was for Botox. What was the other one? Oh no, not that one, this one. Botox, HRT replacement, and something else. I forgot what the other one was for though, and I just passed it too, but I wasn't paying attention this time. I'm thinking about calling them and just to see what they have to offer, you know? Because, oh yeah, the old gyno office, the one I was seeing before weekly, I had an appointment last week. I canceled it. I was just like, I can't go. And they're like, well, we have something next week if you want to come in. No, I'll have to call you all back to see when I can go. And they're like, oh, okay, well, when you call us, we're here for you whenever you want to call. And I'm like, yeah, sure, now you're nice. It's still recording, yeah. I'm like, yeah, sure, now you're nice. And I'm just like, when I was coming, you all were not that nice. Especially you, ma'am, you as a receptionist, you were not that nice with me. And I'm like, no. Anyhow, and I didn't even check who was yelling. There was somebody yelling. I was outside recording the moon, and I kept hearing, hey, hey. And I was like, where's that coming from? Is somebody, like, I was looking around to see if it was my son outside, maybe with Emily or something. No, there was nobody out there. And then I realized it's coming from behind me, from the other direction, behind the wall over here by where the trash can is, the trash bin. And I just kept hearing voices overlapping, and I'm like, holy cow. And I was recording, and I kept hearing that, hey, hey. And I don't know what else they were saying, and I was like, oh, hell no. You know, I'm getting inside my car now. And that's when I showed you all the moon, and I started recording, and my son came to the car. Okay, so now I'm going to get a little bit more serious. Okay. And I'm trying to be nice about how I'm going to bring this subject up, because sometimes I feel like I don't know what I'm talking about, or I don't know how to get my point across. Here's the thing. Why are women so catty? Like, I don't understand. And why am I saying that? Because I have 3 women in my life right now that I do not consider friends. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I just don't feel like they have made that invite as a friend. But they're in my life. And a lot of the times I feel like I'm just convenient in some way, shape, or form for them. And I'm going to get more into that in a bit. Some of you already know that the church buddy, and the reason I call her the church buddy is because that is what she named me. I've known her for, my son's going to be 25 years. I've known her that long. I've been born again for 25 years. I started going to church, to a non-denominational church 25 years ago. I took my baby boy with me, and I would put him in the nursery there. And she was one of the nursery workers. So she remembers my son. She hasn't seen him in forever. She has no idea what he looks like now, but she'll ask me about him every now and then. You know, we were sitting at opposite ends of the church, and then we started sitting together. She came over to me, right? And then that's when we got into the whole dispute about what side of the church we should sit on because of her other friend. Anyhow, so therefore, she told me I was her church buddy. And since then, I was just like, okay. But I don't know. Her and I have like a love-hate relationship, I think, because, and I've said this before, and it's very confusing to me. She's the same person that gave me a birthday gift, by the way, 2 weeks ago. And it was a journal, and I was so happy about it because I love journals. I said that in my other video. Like, I love journals. I love to write. So giving me a journal is a perfect gift for me, you know? And I have a pen fetish too, by the way. But I'm real picky about pens. So whenever I get journals, I need to look for the right pen to write in it. Otherwise, I'm not going to write in it until I find that right pen. And I have a collection of pens. And they're not expensive pens, by the way. They're not like these, $50, $100 pens that you have to buy at a jewelry store or something. No, it's just, there's just certain kind of pens that I like, okay? I'm just weird. I'm weird like that. And I've always been like that, you know? I was a receptionist for 10 plus years, you know, and I always looked for the right pens to take messages with, because there were some pens that I would write with, and I would write like chicken scratch, and I couldn't even make it out. And I would get complaints about it, you know, like, I can't make out your writing. And so I would go look for a different pen, and then I would write a lot nicer. And sometimes it's those gel pens. Sometimes I can write nice with a medium. Sometimes it's better with a fine. But again, it just depends on what kind of brand it is too, you know? I'm weird. Anyway, so that's why I call her my church buddy, because she referred to me as her church buddy. And she's always asked me, what do I consider a friend, when I'm talking to her for advice about the neighbor, or anybody else that I run across, And I've never quite asked her what she considers a friend, because obviously I'm not it. I'm a church buddy. And you know what? I accept that. But, sometimes she's just like, I like you this Sunday, but next Sunday I don't like you, And that's what has me confused. This past Sunday, she was acting kind of weird. At first, she's like, oh, thank you for being here. I'm so glad you're here. Da, 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 da. I was like, what? Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you're here too. Yeah, it's nice to see you too, And service was awesome, per usual. And then right immediately after church, she's like, I have to go pee. And I said, you know what? I was barely going to tell you that because I have to go too. I kept taking sips of my water because my throat was feeling scratchy. And I think I get allergies. And there's a certain part of the church where my allergies start to act up. I don't know. I'm weird. So I had to go pee, right? So we go to the bathroom. We come out. And then she starts telling me, I'm so tired. I'm just going to go home and go to sleep because I didn't sleep very well last night. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's not good. And then I said, well, if it's any consolation, I didn't get enough sleep either. My son had to work till 11. And then by the time I went to bed, it was about 12:30. And then I set the alarm for 6:30 to be here at church on time. Because I had to bring my son to work. And he has to be here by 8, but he likes to be here an hour early. So, of course, I had already had a warning before I got to church. But I didn't even, to me, it's like, okay, it is what it is. I'm at church. I'm happy. I heard the service. Everything's good. But then she's like, and my brother told me that whenever I feel like this, I should go straight home and go to sleep and not do anything. No visiting, no driving, no watching TV or on my phone. Don't do anything. Just go home and go straight to sleep. And I said, well, you know what? Your brother's right. And I agreed there with a brother. I was like, yeah, your brother's right. Or else you're going to get a really bad headache because I've been there, And she's like, yeah, you're going to get a bad headache. I don't want to get a bad headache. So I'm just going to go home and go to sleep. And, and she's going on and on about this. And I'm like, okay, well, have a good rest, But then I started thinking about it. And I'm an overthinker. I can't help it. I overthink everything, okay? Because I have a complex. I always think something's directed towards me. And I know that's something that I am working on with my counselor, but it has a lot to do with my upbringing as well. Because, okay, I'm not going to go into detail, but I'm just going to leave it there, okay? And so, anyway, and I was thinking, why does she have to be so dramatic about it? Why can't she just tell me she's tired and, all right, go home, go to sleep then. See you next week or whatever. Or I'll contact you during the week, see how you're doing. Something. But, I mean, it just felt like the theatrics of it, and the conversation and the way she acted. That's what got to me. And I mean, this lady is way older than I am. And why does she need her brother to advise her to go straight home and go to sleep? I don't get it. But I'm like, okay. And here's my thing, though. Let me also give you something else about this person. This person has told me many, many times how lucky I am that I have a boyfriend. She refused to call him my husband. So I said, okay, fine, whatever. She says how lucky I am to have a boyfriend that takes care of me and I don't have to work. And then she goes on to tell me how she went to college to be a data entry clerk. I'm like, okay. And anyhow, I'm just going to leave it right there. And it's okay. So that's the church buddy. Then I have the neighbor. I'm going to try to finish this up really quick because it's almost like I'm wasting time here. Then I have the neighbor who says she's a nurse, and I believe her. She doesn't do nursing anymore, though. She just didn't feel like it was worth it, and it was too stressful, which I've heard a lot. But now she does something kind of like what my church buddy does. She inputs patient information into the system, and she sees what they qualify for. So a glorified data clerk, if you will. And she apparently makes very good money, that she was able to buy a house recently and everything, you know? Now, she, on the other hand, she hasn't really told me how lucky I am. She did mention it maybe once the entire time that I've known her. But she would come over to my place unannounced a lot. And it would be at all times of the day. It could be either in the morning, afternoon, or night. I had a picture of myself and my husband on a small table there in the living room. And anytime she would come over, she would just stare at it. And she would say, like, I wish I had a husband. Your husband's so handsome. I wish I had a husband. And I'm like, okay, you're making me feel really uncomfortable now. So I actually had to remove that picture and put it in my bedroom. She won't go to my room. Because she was starting to make me feel uncomfortable. And then, of course, there was that recent comment that she made to me about 2 weeks ago also about the rich cowboy. And in case you didn't remember about it or didn't hear about it, she sent me a text telling me that she wished that she had a rich cowboy that was loaded. Okay? Then she proceeded to tell me that in San Antonio there's a lot of cowboys that are loaded. And I'm thinking, didn't she live in San Antonio for several years? Like 10 years? Because she worked over there as a nurse for 10 years. And yet, it finally occurred to you now that you want a rich cowboy? Why didn't you get this rich cowboy when you were younger and you were over there 10 years ago? You know? That makes more sense, doesn't it? Anyhow, so she was supposed to come over this past Sunday. I made arrangements with her. Okay, I will make myself available so that you can come over. And the reason she was going to come over was because my daughter-in-law, my older son, the one that you all just heard, she makes crafts. She's very crafty. She sells these online on her Instagram. And she got a spot at the public park where they were going to have like some kind of event going on. And so she was going to sell her crafts there. She had asked me if I was going to go. And I said, no, I don't think I'm going to make it because I had a migraine on Friday, Saturday. I was barely starting to feel better. I didn't want to be out there in the heat, you know? So she's like, yeah, you're right. I'm over here shopping. And I would have liked to have gone shopping with her, mind you. But she didn't ask. And she was going to all my favorite places. But like I said, she didn't ask. And I didn't really want to push for it either because I was still in bed. I had just dropped off my son at work. I was in bed. I was just trying to get myself better. I didn't even get to clean the apartment until today, which you all heard about, you know. But anyhow, so she was supposed to come over Sunday. Sunday, I did my recordings on The Walking Dead. I ended it with Pamela, right? And I had told her, you know, let me let you know when I get home because she had told me she wanted to stop by at 6:30. Well, it was my son's last day of guitar lessons. And they were going to stay a little bit later. But then, if you all recall in my video, I said, oh, let me face my phone up because my son is supposed to text me to let me know if they're going to stay later or not. Because if they are, I'm not going to wait here in the car till 7:30. From 5:30 to 7:30, that's ridiculous. I'm not waiting in the car. And it turns out that no, they weren't going to stay that late. They were just going to do the hour and end it. So I was just like, okay, that's why I stayed, right? And it's all on the video. So, oops. I hit the gas pedal. So, we got some ice cream afterwards, and then we came directly home. Once we bought the ice cream, we came home. We didn't want to eat it there. It was too hot outside. And so once we got home, I text her right away. And I'm like, neighbor, we are home. Let me know what time you're going to get here, you know? Well, it took her about half an hour to answer me. By that point, I was already like feeling the day. I was feeling tired. I was feeling hot, you know? And my headache was trying to come back, and I was like popping a leaf, trying not to think about it, you know? And I wanted to take a cool shower to cool off, but I was waiting for her. So she finally texted me half an hour later, you know, like I said, and she was there telling me about what a busy day she had, and she's just like, blah, 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 blah. And I finally asked her, so are you going to come over or not? You know, this is after like 45 minutes now, okay? It's already going to be 7 o'clock, or it's after 7 actually, because we got home at 6:30. And she's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to go. Sundays are not really good for me. And your daughter-in-law already sent me pictures of all the stuff she was selling. And I was like, and you couldn't let me know this earlier? Like, why didn't you let me know earlier, neighbor? Here I was waiting for you. I made accommodations to make sure that I was going to be home. And you wait to tell me this at the very last minute? That's very rude, you know? And then I finally just told her, you know what? I think we need to be more respectful of each other's time here. And I said, and I know, because she said Sundays are not good for her because she has to prepare for her work week. And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, you're the one that brought up Sunday. I did not. Secondly, just because I don't work doesn't mean I don't have a week to prepare for, you know? And just because I don't work doesn't mean that I'm just sitting here waiting to see when you can stop by. And that's when I told her, that's very rude of you. We need to be more respectful of each other's time. And she didn't even bother to answer back. And I'm just like, you know what? Then screw you two. I've just had it with her, you all. I've had it. I've just completely had it. I'm not going to do this anymore. You know? And then I did tell her, that's right. When she didn't answer me, the last thing I told her was, it's so ironic that when you lived here at these apartments, you would come by my apartment unannounced during the week and on the weekends at any time. And now all of a sudden you move across the street and Sundays are not good for you. Got it. And then I said, I am so over this. Because I was pissed, you all. I was pissed. I was so uncomfortable. I wanted to take a shower. I wanted to relax. I was ready to get in my night clothes and just relax on the bed. My back was killing me. Anyhow. So that's neighbor, right? Lastly, we have the cosmetic girl at my grocery store. Well, she's not really a girl. She's a woman. She's older than I am. She's been there forever. I met her through my brother-in-law. She is good. Well, she was good friends with my sister-in-law, the lady that is married to my brother-in-law, right? We hung out a couple of times, but we never became friends. And I used to see her a lot anytime I would go to this certain grocery store, to the H-E-B. And every time she saw my freaking face, are you working? What are you doing? Where do you work now? Oh, and you're still there? Oh, what? You're not there anymore? So then you're not working? And I'm just like, is that all you have to ask me? You know, like, And here's the thing, you all. I never speak up for myself when I should. I try to hold my tongue for as long as I can, and then I snap. You know? And that's a problem I have. That's a big problem that I have. But anyway, I hadn't seen her for years. I finally saw her this past Sunday. And I was just like, oh, hey. How are you doing? And she's like, oh my goodness, hi. She comes up to me and hugs me. And she's like, where have you been? And I'm like, I've been coming. I haven't seen you here, so maybe I just been missing you. Well, I normally don't work on Sundays. I said, oh, okay, but you just happen to be here this Sunday. My luck. Huh? You know, I'm thinking this in my head, you know? And then she's like, what do you think's the first question that comes out of her mouth? So you're not working? Are you working? And I'm like, no. You don't work. So, are you still with your boyfriend? My husband? Yeah. Yeah, the same one that you met when you hung around with his brother and his wife? Yeah, that one. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm divorced. No kidding. And by the way, I already knew that. And then she's like, but I have to pay for the house. I still have the house. Okay, maybe that's why you're working then. Because you want to pay for that luxurious house that you kept in the luxurious neighborhood that you live in. And, okay, so all these thoughts are going through my head, right? We end the conversation. And I'm just like, what is with these ladies? You know? And unfortunately, I'm going to have to continue this tomorrow. I keep getting interrupted every time I want to talk about this subject. I have to continue this tomorrow. But tomorrow, I want to point out some things that these three have in common and why they continue to compare themselves to me. So stay tuned for that one. I love you all and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. It's now 11 o'clock. Bye.